A spotless train platform. No gum underfoot, no neon wrappers stuck to benches. You reach for a stick of minty relief. Then remember, here, the real crime isn't chewing, it's selling it. Greetings, seekers of the strange. Welcome to Beyond Bizarre. I'm your host, taking you past normal, beyond weird, into the absolutely mind-blowing. Today, Singapore's infamous chewing gum ban. We'll unpack why this tiny city-state outlawed gum in 1992, how a 2004 tweak quietly reopened the door, a crack, and the big myth people still get wrong. You won't be hauled off for chewing, but try to sell it, and you're in sticky territory. Singapore's reputation didn't happen by accident. It's a tightly engineered city where sidewalks gleam, trains run to the second, and public spaces feel curated. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, one gooey nuisance kept wrecking that script: chewing gum. Wads smeared on seats, pressed under handrails, flattened into sidewalks, and, most infamously, stuck on the sensors and doors of the brand new MRT, jamming them open and delaying thousands. The Housing and Development Board was spending 150,000 Singapore dollars annually just cleaning gum off public housing. After years of campaigns and fines failed, the government reached for the nuclear option: cut gum off at the source. In 1992, Singapore banned the import and sale of chewing gum outright. Here's reveal number one. The ban was less about you chewing and more about systems breaking. The city wasn't waging war on mint flavor, it was protecting the machine: trains, lifts, pavements, the daily choreography of millions. Under the ban, shops couldn't sell gum. Distributors couldn't bring it in, customs could seize shipments. Could you personally possess a stick? Technically, yes, possession and chewing weren't the target, but there was no legal way to buy it locally, and trying to import or peddle it yourself could earn fines that would make your jaw drop faster than a cinnamon burn. The logic was blunt. If supply dries up, the mess dries up. And it worked. Gum graffiti faded. MRT doors stayed shut when they should, open when they must. A city built around precision snapped back into rhythm. But blanket rules meet messy realities. Reveal 2, 2004. After more than a decade of zero gum, Singapore signed a free trade agreement with the United States, and out of that diplomacy came a very Singaporean compromise. The Chicago-based Wrigley Company, working with Illinois Congressman Phil Crane, had pushed to get chewing gum included in trade negotiations. The ban was partially lifted, but not with a shrug. More like a surgical incision. Certain therapeutic gums, think nicotine gum for smokers quitting, and specific dental gums with proven health benefits, could now be sold. By pharmacists, not corner shops. You'd ask at the counter. Show ID if requested. They'd keep records to prevent resale or abuse. No rainbow wall of bubblegum appeared overnight. The shelves stayed gum-free. But for people who needed gum as medicine, the state carved a narrow, supervised channel. Now the myth-busting you came for. 3 fast truths that save embarrassment. And fines. First, chewing isn't illegal. If a tourist pulls a stick from their bag and chews discreetly, the police won't materialize from the shrubbery. The ban focuses on importation and sale, not the act of chewing. Second, littering is a separate beast. Spit gum on the pavement, stick it under a seat, or fling it into a planter, and you've earned yourself a littering offense, gum or no gum. Singapore enforces cleanliness with real teeth. That's why the place looks like a rendered video game. Third, smuggling is not quirky. Bringing in boxes to sell or trying to set up a side hustle in juicy fruit, that's controlled goods territory. First-time offenders can face fines up to 10,000 Singapore dollars or up to a year in prison. Why did gum, of all things, get singled out? Because it punches above its weight in externalities. 1 wad can cost a fortune in labor hours to scrape from porous tiles. 1 dot on a train door sensor can snarl an entire morning rush. In July and August 1991, incidents of gum stuck between MRT train doors caused service disruptions, forcing passengers to disembark and trains to be withdrawn from service. Gum is the perfect vandal's tool: cheap, anonymous, and hard to clean. So Singapore did what Singapore does: engineered the incentive. No supply, no stickiness. The results were dramatic. Daily gum litter cases dropped from 525 before the ban to just 2 by February 1993. That 2004 tweak wasn't just softening, it was a stress test for how Singapore modernizes without losing its brand. On paper, the city bent the rule. In practice, it tightened control. The only gums that made the cut were those with clear medical or dental justification, vetted by health authorities. Sales flow through trained professionals who already manage controlled products. There's no impulse purchase at the checkout, no teenager flipping a pack to friends at school. The policy's headline, "No gum here," still holds in daily life, while a quiet back door serves the few who genuinely need it. The story of Singapore's gum ban isn't actually about chewing gum. It's about how a city chooses to solve problems at scale. You can fight behavior with education, signage, and scolding, or you can reroute the market. Singapore picked the pipe wrench. The result is visible every time your shoe lifts cleanly from a sidewalk, every time an MRT door seals without drama. Is that worth telling millions of people they can't buy a piece of candy locally? Singapore's answer is pragmatic and polarizing. To devotees, it's genius governance: less mess, lower costs, higher reliability. To critics, it's a nanny state flex that treats adults like toddlers. Let's set the record straight. 1992 saw the import and sale of chewing gum banned, with possession and chewing never the legal focus. The MRT was a prime catalyst. Gum on sensors and doors caused operational delays. In 2004, the ban was partially lifted for therapeutic gums sold by pharmacists with guardrails. Ordinary bubblegum and novelty flavors remain off-limits. The fine city stereotype survives because the rules are clear and actually enforced, a feature, not a bug, in Singapore's brand of urban order. And that's another journey, beyond bizarre. If your mind is officially blown, smash that subscribe button because we're just getting started. Until next time, keep pushing beyond the ordinary.